Hi there, we're going to go through your quiz on the equation of a circle. So the first thing I like to do when I have a problem like this is I like to write out the shell for the equation of a circle. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in numbers that make this equivalent to the equation of the circle that I was given. So I was given x minus 4 squared plus y plus 3 squared is equal to 25. So because my shell has x minus and y minus, the 4 perfectly fits in that x minus 4 squared, but here you have a y minus, but over here you have a plus 3. So I need to get a negative 3 for that to be equivalent. And then here I have a squared, and this one's 25, so I have to put a 5 there in order for it to be equivalent. So that would give me a center, if I pull the red pieces, of 4, negative 3, okay, and a radius of 5. If you remember, the diameter is always the radius times 2, so our diameter is just 10. In number 2, I'm going to start with that same shell for the equation of a circle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in the information they gave me. So they told me x was negative 1, or that x value of the center, and the y value of the center was 6. Now they give me a diameter of 20, so I know the radius must be 10. So now what I'm going to do is simplify each piece. So x minus negative 1 simplifies to x plus 1 squared. Then y minus 6 simplifies just to the y minus 6. And 10 squared simplifies to 100. So the answer here would be x plus 1 squared plus y minus 6 squared is equal to 100. Okay. For the next one, I have to graph it. So again, I'm going to start with that shell. X minus squared plus y minus squared is equal to space squared, and I'm going to fill in what numbers would make it equivalent. So I have an x minus 2, an x plus 2. I need to put x minus minus 2 because I can't put a positive in there. And then I have y minus 0 will make that equivalent, and then the number squared that gives me 4 is 2. So I have a center that's located at negative 2, 0, and a radius of 4. If you don't do the shell here, it's really easy to accidentally, I put a radius of 4 and I misspoke. It's a radius of 2. It's really easy to actually put a radius of 4. So you want to be careful. The shell also helps me remember that I have to change the sign of the value I'm picking. So my center is over here at negative 2. And then to graph the rest of the circle, I'm just going to go 2 away from that, up, down, left, and right. And then I would connect those points together. And that would be the correct graphing for the circle. So in number 4, they want me to write the equation of the circle, but they don't actually, give me the center of the circle. So let's start by finding that. To find the center of the circle, I need to find the midpoint. So I'm just going to use the midpoint formula. I'm going to line up the 2 points, one on top of the other. And I get negative 6 over 2, negative 2 over 2, which would give me a center of negative 3, negative 1. So that's my center. And I'm going to steal a little bit of space up here, because now I need to find the length of the radius. And I'm just going to draw a rough sketch. So negative 3, negative 1. Okay. and I can pick either point for the end of the circle. So that's my center. I'm going to pick 1, 2, because I think that will be the easiest one. And then what I can do is connect those together and use the Pythagorean theorem. So I get 4 and 3. So I can do 3 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. 9 plus 16 equals c squared. And 25 is equal to c squared. If I take the square root of both sides, I get c is equal to 5, and that gives me my radius. So now I can use that shell again. And I can substitute in my -3, -1 for the center, and my 5 that I just found for the radius, and simplify. So I get x plus 3 squared plus y plus 1 squared is equal to 25. So even though I needed graph paper to do this problem, that's okay. Don't ever be afraid to use an extra piece of scratch graph paper. Okay, and the last one down here, I'm just determining what points lie on the circle. So I'm going to start with -2, -2 for my center. They give me a diameter of 10. That means a radius is 5. So I'm going to go 5 in each direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to connect those to make a circle. I'm doing the best I can to draw that circle. And then I'm going to graph each of the points. So -6, -5 is right here. That's questionable because I did a not so great job drawing this circle. It kind of looks more like an egg. So I'm just going to label that with A, and I'll go through and check out my other points. -2, -2, that's B. That's certainly not on the circle because it's the center of the circle. 6, 4 is C. Again, that's certainly not on the circle because it's outside. So I'll label this as in. And then 8, 8. That's choice D. That's certainly not on the circle because it's outside. So even though A doesn't perfectly sit on the circle I drew, I know that that was freehand and I had a little bit of trouble, and it's the only one that could possibly be on the circle. So our answer over here is choice A. I hope this helped to explain some of the questions on your quiz. And if you have any questions, please ask me before your test on Thursday. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Enjoy!